Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, even if you're not finished, don't worry. So let me give you a little bit of background information about the way they try to break down SOAPs for you if you haven't read. So first they use a speech that was delivered by a man named Lou Gehrig. Who has ever heard of Lou Gehrig? Yay! You must play softball. No? Softball. No, she's. All right. So in case, what about any baseball players? Even if you haven't heard of Lou Gehrig, hopefully once you read it, you'll understand a little bit more. But Lou Gehrig was basically an infamous or very famous baseball player in the 1930s. And he was known as the Iron Giant. He was known as the one who could hit a baseball as far as, possible, like not as far as possible, but truly, definitely far, definitely get home runs all the time. Just known as this beast, on the field, or just basically a very good baseball player. Then all of a sudden he was struck with ALS. So you remember a few years ago they were having everyone do the ice bucket challenge or whatever? They were having people throw water on other people and all that, and big buckets of cold water. Well, the ice bucket challenge was supposed to replicate what happens when you have ALS. Your body kind of feels like it's in that cold, paralyzed state at all times, to the point that it eventually starts deteriorating the rest of your body. So the idea is your neurons and all your brain functions start depleting and everything like that. So the idea is that ALS connects to the ice bucket challenge, makes you feel cold all the time, so that's why everyone was trying to pay homage to it. Well, in the 1930s, when this man received this diagnosis as having ALS, everyone was kind of freaked out, they were kind of scared, they were kind of sad for him. It was pretty much like a sad day in sports. Their hero, this big icon, this big famous man known to be strong and virile and just powerful, is stricken with this disease that is going to handicap him, going to paralyze him, and basically diminish his, his body, his ability to be the same person. So that was pretty sad. So they had a big farewell to him, an appreciation of him and his contributions to the sport. And they decided to send him off with a bang, and they asked him to say a speech. And the speech that he said is what they give you to analyze. So when he's giving his speech, he's not saying I feel like this is the worst thing that could happen to a person like me. Instead, he basically thanks his fans. He says, the disease is not that bad, and I am kind of humbled to have lived the type of life that I've lived. I'm kind of blessed. Put that phone away, please. I feel blessed to have lived the type of life that I have lived. I feel blessed to have the type of mother-in-law that I have, the wife that I have. I have a good family. I have a good life. I have a good wife. I feel blessed overall. So instead of him being all negative, he's very positive and very optimistic and very just kind of, gracious as he makes his exit. So that's the cool thing about that particular speech in the book, as you guys are going to read. So the subject of the speech is pretty, basic. The subject of the speech, anything that we're reading, the subject of a text should be the most obvious one, the basic one, the one that you guys get the most. That's just the topic. What is the topic of whatever we're reading? What is the topic of whatever the cartoon we're analyzing? What's the topic of most of the material? That's all you have to do when you look at the subject. So for this particular text, the subject is his illness, him saying goodbye to his fans, and saying that he feels blessed that he has had some lucky breaks before he had this disease. It's not going to tear him down. Does that make sense? All right. So the next thing that's very important is the occasion. This one gives students a lot of problems, so go ahead, take the note, and we'll talk about it.